It's Wales Carnival tonight and I'm driving. We've just got down the car and we found Phoebe. Hello. Asleep on the front of the car. We're just going to get the cart set up and ready to go. First things first is getting the daily checks done, getting the fire extinguishers on the cart in their designated positions and testing the generator. Wales is the second to last carnival and getting the cart set up this year has been quite easy, with very few problems that needed attention. This could be to do with the fact that we've had no rain so far this season, which does seem crazy because 2024 has been a very wet year in general. A chap from London who has been following Vaggies for many years and taken our photos gives my dad some nice photos that he took from last year. My sister has decided not to go on cart this year for the first time since 2005. Sarah makes sure that all the paperwork is up together before we go. A young lad called Little R, who does a juvenile walk-in entry, comes and says hello. Bridgewater Carnival was quite mild this year, but slowly over the last 2 weeks, the temperature has dropped quite a bit. And after getting so cold at Shepton on Wednesday, I decide to layer up even more. I need to put my costume on, but I will put my coat back on over the top until we need to leave for the procession. And whilst I'm doing my makeup, one of my oldest friends, Paul, picks up my phone and doesn't realise that I'm filming. Although I still haven't forgiven Paul for telling me the truth about a man in a big red suit and ruining my childhood. I get my headset on and make sure that everybody can hear me and that everybody is set up on the same channel. Everybody is in really good spirits tonight and getting warmed up ready to go on cart. Wales Carnival is one of my absolute favourite carnivals to drive and I always volunteer for it. This year I'm having some help filming from a young lad called M.Slaney who I know through trucking. Mitchell has had an exceptional talent for truck photography and videography from a very young age. Since he's left school, he's put himself out to make sure he's in the best places to improve his talents even further. So I've asked him to come along tonight and of course he jumped at the new challenge of filming a carnival cart. All of the videos that you see tonight of the cart in procession will be from Mitchell. He also has his own YouTube channel which I will put in the description. We just about have time for some family photos and then we need to get everybody on cart. Even though we all take carnival very seriously, we all still try to have as much fun as we can. If carnival wasn't fun, it would almost seem pointless putting in so much effort. The first part of the route at Wales is going round the first roundabout. And this first roundabout at the start of the procession is also the last roundabout at the end of the procession, as the route goes around in a circle and also ends here. At every carnival from start to finish, the cart personnel has put everything into their routine. And although I can't see any of them, I can certainly feel the fact that they're all moving on there. As you can see, there are a lot of sections past bollards and road islands where the cart will only just go through and we need to skim over the pavements. But with a good road crew helping me out and making sure that the crowd stay back, it makes it a whole lot easier. The first corner that we come across gives you a bit of a false sense of security as we turn from a newer part of the city into the older part. Wales is a city that dates back to medieval times. A lot of the streets in the centre of Wales were only built for horse and cart, which makes it quite tricky to drive a modern day carnival cart through it. And although carnival originates from the gunpowder plot over 400 years ago, it started with bonfires and costumed parades, before moving on to horse, cart and fire lanterns, and slowly progressing into what we have today, with a number of clubs building to maximum capacity of 100 foot long, 16 foot high and 11 foot wide. Which brings us to the point of the most trickiest part of this carnival. It's the part where there are no spectators and we turn the music off to get round the corner. As silly as it sounds, this is the reason why I love doing Wales Carnival. This section of the route is such a challenge and it scares me to death every time I do it. But once I've got through it with no damage and without getting stuck anywhere or broken down, I get the best sense of achievement. To get around this corner, I need to hop onto the pavement on the other side of the road. This is a part of the route that not many people see, unless people have been on cart themselves or road crewed. And this is the point that Mitchell, the videographer, realised why I wanted him to come along and take some videos. For a young person, he's put himself out to see some incredible things within the trucking industry. So for something like this to impress him, it must be pretty good. Wales Carnival Committee put sandbags along the edge of the pavement so that it's easier to bump down off of the curb, which makes it a lot better and safer for the personnel on cart, which as I'm driving round is one of my biggest priorities, is to keep everybody safe on cart and off. and the smoother I drive, the better it is for them, which is quite tricky in an old truck with quite harsh braking. The road crew watch the second trailer come round and let me know when I'm clear to head into the narrows. You really do have to be very observant when driving a big vehicle like this, and this next corner is no exception. It's a tight corner, so I need to use as much room as I can, but at the same time being aware of the camber of the road and the windows that jut out quite high. Because of this, if I get it wrong, there is a chance that the top of the cart could touch one of the windows, and it wouldn't be the first time that a club has done this at Wales Carnival. And I don't want this to be the first time the cart needs a wrecker. Once again, the road crew are my eyes as we go around the corner, and they consistently communicate with the road crew at the front to let them know that everything is going fine. Then once we are around the corner, they give me the all clear. Once we have tackled those two corners, the rest is quite narrow but straightforward. The crowd are always great here and are always in good spirits. It really is a pleasure to be part of this carnival. Although I am feeling the cold tonight, it hasn't set in like it did at Shepton on Wednesday, so all the extra layers I put on was definitely worth it. Eventually we end up back at the roundabout where we started, and as you can see there are still some clubs starting their carnival. The marshals on the roundabout alternatively let one club start the carnival and one cart finish the carnival, and once we get the green light to go, we can head around the roundabout and towards the finishing area where we can sort the cart out ready for travelling and get all the cart personnel off. We must pull down as far as we can to make room for other clubs that are finishing the carnival. As soon as we stop, I get my warm clothes on, ready for travelling. It's also my opportunity to have a little chat with people, and the policeman comes up to explain what I need to do next. The road crew come and let me know that they have got everyone off the cart safely and that everything is packed away ready for travelling. The only thing left to do is shutting the generator down.
This is Mitchell. He's helped me video this YouTube video. So thank you very much, Mitchell. And you can see his stuff on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, on Facebook.
Another police officer comes over to update us on what is going to happen next, and he also tells me he likes my videos. With that, the generator gets shut down and we get ready to go on our way. From Wales to Glastonbury, they shut the road, so we were able to go over fully trained. We haven't been waiting here for very long, and the dispersal of the carts heading over to Glastonbury has been very well organised this year. In fact, throughout the carnival season this year, everything seems to have gone pretty well. Like with everything, communication is key, and everyone seems to know what they are doing. The police escort over the carts in groups as they finish the carnival, and we have an escort vehicle of our own to bring us across. Once we get to Glastonbury, my escort vehicle stops and speaks to the marshals to find out where we need to park. The marshals let them know what division that I need to park in, and I follow them down to find the parking spot. They go on ahead so that I have plenty of time to pull in once we're there. We make sure with the next group of marshals, and they tell us to pull in the next section.
Oh yeah, it's my face.
I get everything packed away and I'm looking forward to getting home in the warm.
That's it, we're all parked up at Glastonbury, ready. Oh, I'm so cold, I can't even speak. Oh dear, my lips are so cold. We're all parked up at Glastonbury, ready for tomorrow night, which is the last carnival. So we're just gonna head home. I don't think it's too late. Actually, Wales Carnival went really, really well. It was really well organised. Everything ran really smoothly. So, yeah, to be fair, it's been a good carnival. Let's hope things don't go wrong tomorrow, especially as soon as it's a full moon. Yeah.
Time to go home for a nice cup of tea. The next day, we're back down at the cart quite early for the final carnival of 2024. We get the cart set up, and one new thing that we've had to put on the cart this year is a tow hitch on the front, just in case we break down in procession. The cart's all set up nice and early, and we have plenty of road crew tonight. When you're in the carnival, sometimes it's very difficult to actually see the carnival, and you tend to only see the other carts at the start of the procession or at the end of the procession splitting down, or on social media or YouTube. So I take this opportunity to run down to the start of the procession and watch all the clubs that are before us as they make their way down to the start of the procession. Some of the personnel are getting themselves warmed up with their routines, and others are saving their energy ready for the procession. But it's just nice for me to see the carts all lit up and moving. I think I spoke too soon yesterday when I said that all the carnival so far has been dry, because tonight the rain seems to have greeted us with its presence. Luckily it only seems to be light rain, but of course it won't stop us anyway. I think we were a little bit optimistic to think that we'd go through the whole carnival season without it raining, as no one, not even the older members of our club, could remember a completely dry year. I can remember quite a few years ago at Glastonbury it absolutely poured down with rain, and by the time the carnival finished we had a storm on our hands. I was driving the cart that year, and when we split down to travel back to Bridgewater we had thunder, lightning and torrential rain all the way back. In fact, as we drove across the Somerset levels, the rain was coming in sideways. It was probably one of the hardest drives I've ever had to do, and I couldn't wait to get back. It was also lucky that it was the last carnival, as when I got out of the cart, the rain had damaged the cart so much that the MDF was all peeling back. Luckily, we don't have anything like that this year, and it's just a bit of drizzle. As you can see, there are a lot of big carnival carts that participate in the Bridgewater Guy Fawkes Carnival Circuit. There are a large number of clubs from Bridgewater, from big feature clubs to small walk-in entries. And there are also many clubs that travel from all over the southwest of England to be a part of these carnivals, including this cart from Honiton Young Farmers, who do remind me of the girls from Vagabonds. Every year each club chooses a different theme. And after this last carnival tonight, the carts will all be taken back to their shed and stripped down to the chassis, ready to rebuild the cart in next year's theme. And as much as it's nice to see some new ideas and some new themes thought up by different clubs over the years, it's also good to see some good old-fashioned favourite carnival themes, with music that gives a great nostalgic feeling. And that is what carnival is all about, bringing people together for a lot of fun. And I'm sure a lot of fun will be had tonight, with everybody partying together at the after party. The next club along is Vagabonds, so I join them as we go into the carnival procession. As we head through the centre of Glastonbury, we see some of the members that aren't on cart cheering us on. Glastonbury Carnival is always a fantastic atmosphere, and this year didn't disappoint despite the rain. Glastonbury is also a great town to visit when there's no carnival and no Glastonbury Festival. It's a very unique town that is so different to anywhere else in the UK, and is actually somewhere me and my friends will visit when we just want a break from the norm. As we head round the last corner on the Glastonbury route, there is a sense of sadness that the 2024 carnival season is coming to an end, and as much as everybody is tired and aching, battered and bruised, it's still sad that it comes to an end. Glastonbury is another carnival that goes around in one big loop, and we need to head back to the Glastonbury bypass to split down. To travel back to Bridgewater, we need to unhitch the generator and tow it back with the tractor. Pooey is driving the cart back as he drove the procession, and Lee is going to drive the tractor back, which leaves me and my dad to be escort drivers, something that I've not done for many years. The next day, we're back down at the cart nice and early to put the cart away. We don't put the cart away straight after Glastonbury Carnival, as the lane back to the shed is quite narrow, and it seems a bit silly to struggle rather than waiting a few hours to do it in the daylight. Dad has already been very keen and unhitched the tug from the cart and taken it back to the shed. So what the rest of us has done is unhitch the tractor from the generator so that I can hitch up to the cart and take all the trailers back in order. We've tried a few different ways of getting the cart back in the shed after Glastonbury Carnival, and the way we are doing it today is by far the easiest and quickest. Once the trailer has been successfully hitched up to the tractor, I'll make my way back down to the shed with it. If you watch the video of us getting it out of the shed, you will know that this is going to put my driving skills to the test. We need to navigate some low trees, some parked cars, and then into a narrow lane. Once the cart is in the shed, the club will start dismantling this year's entry. However, this does not mean I can be complacent in taking it back to the shed. The club will reuse as much as they can from this year's cart to try and save money. So ideally, I need to get the cart back to the shed with no damage whatsoever. I'm pleased to say that I have been successful, and as I pull into the yard, I pull up dead centre in front of the doors. We can then unhitch the cart from the tractor and then back the tug up to the trailer. Dad won't be able to see a lot as he backs up, but with guidance from the ground crew, he manages to get the towing eye in line. We get the pin in and connect the Susies, and then we pull the cart into the shed. This needs to go in as straight as possible, and we won't pull it in all the way. We only pull it in until it's just inside of the shed. And once that's done, I head back down with the tractor to go and pick up the generator trailer. They've been down here waiting for me, and once I've backed up, they quickly get me hitched up and on my way back to the shed. This trailer is smaller than the main cart trailer, which I've just taken down, but still I can't be complacent in taking it down the lane. Once again, as I pull into the yard, I try to get dead centre in front of the door, and Mike disconnects the unruly Susies.
Those things are great, aren't they?
Susies, yeah, they're wonderful, aren't they? They won't stay where you want to put them, Jeb.
No.
Once the tractor is unhitched, I need to do some careful shunting to get the tractor out of the way. Then Dad gets back into the tug and slowly reverses the cart in a straight line out of the shed. We all need to watch carefully either side of the cart to make sure that it doesn't hit anything inside the shed and make sure that the hitch is lined up with the generator trailer. We have to give the tow bar a little bit of gentle persuasion, pushing it across, but we get the pin in and then we can pull the full cart, fully trained, into the shed, with everybody watching eagerly to make sure that it doesn't touch the sides of the shed. And that's it for another year. She's all packed away, nice and safe, and we close the doors on the front of the shed. There are just a few last minute jobs before we can go home and have a nice, well-deserved rest after doing the carnivals. The tractor that we use is hired in from a farmer that has a long history with vagabonds. We just need to take off the mud guards and fuel it back up before taking it back to him. Thanks for watching, and don't forget you can get my merch at f28print.com.